Welcome back. As reported earlier, Kevin Lyttle was a co-host at the International Reggae and World Music Awards in Miami. The day after the awards, Onstage sat down with the artist in Miami Beach.
Can y'all feel that? Can y'all feel that? Jig it out. Here I am in the place where I come let
In 2004, he gave us a song that not only turned on his island home of St. Vincent and the wider Caribbean, the song turned on the entire world.
For the longest while we're jamming in the party, and you're waiting on me.
A song that landed him a deal with one of the biggest record companies in the world, Atlantic Records.
From me, you better change your mind. You're going home. You're going home with me tonight. Let me hold you, go caress my body. You got me going crazy. You turn me on, turn me on. Let me charm you, go right order on me.
All right, Kevin, so where are you now with Atlantic Records?
Well, it's not really something I like to go back on, but where Atlantic Records is concerned, it's been about, wow, like, it's almost eight or so years that I left them. Mm-hmm. It was not an intentional break between me and them, because with Just Turn Me On, I had already sold over 3 million records and albums, singles and albums, digitally, physicals and all that, with them worldwide. So they, you know, it was a lot of issues where my management and just getting the proper communication done between Kevin Lyttle team and Atlantic's team was concerned that caused that break. I would never change anything that happened in the past with the record labels and how I got to where I am today.
Okay. So you're not regretting the signing with them?
No, I'm not regretting that at all, because Atlantic Records did a lot for my career. And I will commend Craig Coleman on to this day, because he was the one sticking his neck out for Caribbean music in that sense, signing a lot of Caribbean acts and giving them an opportunity.
Okay.
You know, at Atlantic Records, I learned a lot.
Okay.
I got a lot of things on my own, which I had originally done the 4 years leading up to Atlantic. When I got signed to Atlantic, it kind of got into the point where now I left everything to be handled by a team and Atlantic Records, and I personally wasn't letting myself be as so involved. The attitude I was taking, because of how I thought it should have been at the time. But I learned differently after all that happened that made me separate with them. Going forward, I started going back to how I did it in St. Vincent, where I went and I found things out for myself, and I started being more proactive.
If you could rewind, you would have been more involved in your own
decision making? Yeah, I would have.
Closer to what's going on?
But I don't think it would have made that much difference at the time, because, I was still dealing with people who had more experience than I did.
You also lost your mom during this time, didn't you?
Yes, in 2008. Right after that, like 2007, now I'm trying to recoup. I start recording with all these great producers from St. Vincent, from all over the place, and I had records left over from the album that were going to be on a second album and stuff like that. Right in 2008, when I'm ready to go again, my mom comes to Miami at my home, and it's a funny story. She comes there. She's the type of person, when she's sick, she doesn't want to burden me, because I'm her only child. She's always protective of me. She tells me the doctor says she has a touch of diabetes. In the Caribbean, they always tell you these kind of theories. You have a touch or a little bit, nothing serious. Yeah. And she's there eating a bunch of sweet stuff too. And I didn't understand at the time how seriously sick she was. And she died. It took her. I came back one evening. She was vomiting and stuff, but I thought she had stomach problems, because she normally get gas problems sometimes, and that happens. But so I left and I came back. When I came back, I met her on her face, on the ground.
Oh no.
Dead.
That was quite an experience for you.
Yes, it was. It was the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to me in my whole life. You know, there's no word to describe it. There's no way I can actually put it into a sentence to let you understand the feeling that it is to lose that person, like that person who has raised you. But going forward now, with me from all that experience that I got with that deal with Atlantic, I'm able to have my own label,
okay,
put out my own records, like I did originally before Atlantic picked up my project.
So you never stopped recording?
No, I've never stopped recording.
A very potent recording artist?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. What actually,
that is important to your fans because, well, to all of us.
Yeah, well,
your fans would probably
even
know,
after Atlantic, I did Home for Carnival, which was a very big soca track in the Caribbean.
Yes, that was
in 2006, 2007. Actually, 2007. That record was done, and I've done numerous other recordings. I recorded something with Bob Sinclair that did very well in Europe, a song called Belly Dancer. I did an album in Japan on my own in 2008 independently, and that album sold like 60-something thousand on its own. It went gold in Japan. So, you know, I've been doing stuff, just not in all the places that you would hear about it in the Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So, and you've been touring?
I've been touring constantly. You know, I mean, I've been doing an average of about 100 shows per year.
Okay.
Since then, still, because
up to now?
Yeah, because you know, when I looked at it too, the smart thing is that I have always been very organic with my stuff, and I realized from a business perspective, with all that happened, especially after my deal with Atlantic and the way that I became popular, that the music industry was heading to a point where it had to go back organic because physical sales were no longer strong. It was all about digital and people interacting with the artists and wanting to go and find their profiles and all this kind of stuff. So you had to make yourself present in front of people. So it went back to me doing what I did with Turn Me On in 2001, where everybody wanted me to be to perform, I was there, and that's what spread the music. And people would go back on the internet and say, yo, I saw Kevin Lyttle in concert, and it kept that momentum.
And you know, you kept talking about what you did before Atlantic Records, and I think that is critical to all of this.
Yeah.
Very important, because you're coming from tiny St. Vincent.
Yeah, man, big up my country, Vince, you know.
Yeah,
90,000 people right now.
You're not expected to be coming from St. Vincent and to carve out a career that takes you to the world. It's not the expected thing.
Well, you know, the thing is, perception is the power that runs the world.
Yes.
If your perception of yourself and what you want to do is thwarted, in the sense that you let all kind of different antidotes from the outside world and what you see and hear destroy your dreams, you will not be successful. But me, I was a kid who was making so much noise in the neighborhood because I wanted to sing, practicing my voice, singing off key on, key all, how for everybody here. There were pelt stone on my house, cost me every day. And now today all of them are my friends because they finally saw what I was working towards. People would pass my house every day and say, boy, we don't go sing a calypso song. Everybody else who they sing, they don't carry on and sing and behave like you every minute making noise in the neighborhood. You know, but now, without letting them, what they had to say get in here and what they had to show me with their negative energy get in here, I was able to push past all of that and get to where I wanted to be.
And you were a child then, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about a teenager?
Yeah, I was like, when I started really working towards becoming a singer and getting known, I was like 16, 17 years of age. I started a group with my friends in school. We all together started a group called Sway because Boys to Men and all these guys were around at that time. And we all had this dream to be performers. So that's where my motivation was. And then I had this incredible vocal trainer who was from St. Vincent that trained with groups like Take Six and all of that through agencies and stuff. He was working for agencies, training groups. And he came down and showed us all these things that we could do with his voice. And when you heard him sing, I was whoa, how does he do these things? Okay. Like he was doing some, like his voice was like singing melody.
Oh.
His voice is like singing melody. He could do all these crazy things with his voice. I never saw a male vocalist do that. So, and I couldn't do it. So I went home every day. From the time you see me step off the bus from school, I was singing. I was trying to figure out. My father wasn't there for me, but what he did, he would send books for me.
So what was your dream then?
To be like Stevie Wonder, to be like Boyz II Men, to be like all of them.
You were eyeing the world from as early as that?
Yes, because I saw no reason why I couldn't do it.
Okay.
Because I didn't let people tell me, people say to me, there's too much competition out there. And I was like, no.
So the general consensus around you was that you do a soca, do the carnival scene, do the soca scene, and that's it?
No, well, that's what everybody in St. Vincent was trying to come at me with. Yo, you don't go sing calypso, we don't go do this. They would never look at it as a springboard. They don't look at it as a business, as something my wife would say. They don't look at it as a business where you get to one level, then you go for the other level. They only look at it as there, but I wasn't doing that. In a sense, subconsciously, I was just looking to where I wanted to go. I was seeing past it without intentionally doing it. It was just what I wanted. You have to understand, I grew up with my mother, who alone mined a household of her mother, her grandmother, and her son, and all the family never helped us like that except for one. And she had to handle everything. So at a very young age, I decided I had to be wealthy also. I said, I got to figure out how to get rich. And I decided that singing was the one thing I could do that everybody would go like, whoa, he's got a nice voice. I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to work on.
Okay, and you did work on it.
Yeah.
You went to platinum with an album, a single.
Yeah.
And you became this global sensation.
Yeah.
That everybody's now looking to continue to be in the global mainstream.
Yeah. The album went platinum too.
The album went platinum as well.
Yes.
Atlantic record, big record deal, rolling in the mainstream crowd, rolling with the superstars.
I still do.
Still rolling. But then the records weren't coming, because that's what
the problem
in the Caribbean
what you saw there was the problem between management, the teams of Atlantic and the teams of Kevin Lyttle. And it was really nobody's fault. It was just because the change that was happening in the music industry also was so rapid and so incredible, and then there was so much that Atlantic wanted to do. And then they went for another artist too and signed that artist who sounded like me but wasn't me, while I'm selling them 3 million albums already, and they weren't focusing that way on me. So, there was a lot of different things that were happening. There was also Sean Paul on their plate, who had like teams of singles already before me when I came out too, and they had to focus on that project too. So there was a lot going on with Caribbean music at the time. I had the singles, but it was just so much to go into to explain to you what happened there.
You don't need to. Just bring us up to date now. Where are you right now?
Well, right now, I am still, believe it or not, as popular in the world as I was then, because right now I have like 3 endorsement deals. I have a vodka that I am the global ambassador and partner in. I have another company called Chill Shot that just endorsed me for their launching with their new campaign, where it's going to be a Stop the Violence campaign around the whole United States. I also have my own hat called Rocket, which is available for sale on my app right now. I have a song with Flo Rida. They just landed a deal in a movie called What About Love, starring Sharon Stone and Andy Garcia.
Yes.
I also have a record with Maya that me and her set a date next month to go and finish recording. It's a really hot record that's coming also. The Diplomat is ready, and currently my new single featuring Shaggy is buzzing like mad. All the mainstream radios have come back giving me great reviews on the record. It's up to me now to make the next step. And I'm doing this all by myself like I did before Atlantic Records. Because
you're in full control now.
I am in full control. I don't need the label to go and talk to the radio for me. I have a team that does that. I don't need the label to go and speak to marketing people. I have my marketing team. I have everything set up.
And by control, we're talking about creative control.
Yes.
Business control.
Yes.
All control is with you.
And
it's because of the lesson you learned from being with a major.
The buck stops here before after it meets my wife. After it meets my wife.
Well, yes, we know that. We know that Jackie is always there somewhere.
She is the CEO of Tarragon Records,
yes.
And she has incredible managerial skills. Her managerial skills are off the chain, I must say.
All right, let's pause for a minute and take a little piece of that song with Shaggy.
Wait, pause
Then
it.
when you're ready, Vagina.
Yes, on top of each other. Perfect.
Ready?
You hear it?
Camera's rolling.
Larger. Yes, Kevin. Kevin Lyttle, Shaggy.
Turn up the mic good, give me some reverb. Get it right.
Y'all let me know that. So
I never had someone who'd be there for me when I call. Who'd stand in the rain.
So where's the single now? Is it out, running, rotating, getting rotation?
Yes, it is. I mean, Irie FM has given me a lot of love, you know. Big up Irie FM. And my boy Ron Mouchette, too, he's been giving me a lot of love on the radio. And St. Vincent, the record has been #1 for 4 weeks on a lot of the stations. Thanks to the Tarragon Records team, my wife and all the different contractors that we've pulled together working under the company have done an excellent job, you know. And the record itself has gotten a lot more attention and it's a lot more controlled now. Like I can actually say where I'm taking this record because I have the control between the marketing team and the relationships with all the media companies that I'm moving forward with to promote this product.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one last one for your family. You're a father.
Yeah.
Of one. Right?
I have 2 kids actually. I have a 4-year-old gonna be 5 in December, and an 8-year-old. That's before my marriage.
Okay.
So yeah, I got 2 boys.
And you're a good father, no doubt.
Of course. I mean, I love owning up to my responsibility. You know, responsibility keeps you grounded, and it keeps you focused. It gets you away from the distractions and help you make money. It is actually necessary in this world, especially for a man, to have responsibility.
It's better for you than not, right?
Yes, it is.
That's a message to Caribbean men.
Well, I mean, to any man.
To any man.
To any man, black, white, Indian, Chinese, whatever you be, you need to have responsibility. If you don't have responsibility, you will find yourself, being lost and don't even know that you're lost.
Kevin Lyttle, sir.
Yeah, man.
Great note on which to end this open chat, sir. This tell-all chat, I suspect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, man.
And it's clear now to your fans everywhere that Kevin Lyttle, don't worry about your boy. He's good.
Yeah, man.
He's more than good. And still coming at you. All right, there you have it. Kevin Lyttle. All right, stay with us. When we come back, Dancehall's first quartet, celebrating 15, will be right here in the middle. We'll be back.
Yeah.